This is my rant for PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. I'm going to be going over a lot of important information, a lot of the things that you've been asking me. I'm going to give my opinions on my ideas. So first of all, compare it to Microsoft or Nintendo. Sony has really been listening to their fans and to all the feedback on their official blog and their official forums. They've incorporated into so many first-party exclusives over the past couple years, and it's great, you know. But when you're listening to so many people, there are going to be trolls. There are going to be fake supporters that want a particular game to change. Let's give an example. Killzone 3. Killzone 3 I expected to be so much better than Killzone 2, or very similar to Killzone 2 as far as the multiplayer section. And it reminded me a lot of Call of Duty. This is before the patches, before the updates. It's a little bit better now. That's because Call of Duty fans got on the official PlayStation blog, complained about Killzone 2. Many of them didn't even play more than the demo. And Sony listened. They listened. Guerrilla Games listened. And it was something that I was like, oh, no, I hope they don't listen to the wrong people. I'm almost about that with every game now. It happened with Uncharted 3, because the beta did go public. So I do not want Sony to listen to any supposed real PlayStation fan that has not been supporting the PlayStation brand for over 14 years. Okay? I'm not saying the people that just started with the PS2. No. You've had to been gaming with the PlayStation brand since the PS1 to give input or proper feedback on the characters you think need to be in this game. The game is pretty much based around the characters. Okay? You need the proper characters. You need the icons. Now, we're at 16 characters right now. Let me just throw something out. We're at 16. This is an example. Number 17, Old Snake from Metal Gear Solid 4. Number 18, Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. Number 19, Crash Bandicoot from the Crash Bandicoot series. And number 20, Spyro the Dragon. Now, this is an example. You have 20 characters right now. 5 more characters, and then the game is shipped. Sorry, I said gun. The game will be shipped. Okay? That's an example. Because supposed real PlayStation fans are saying the number 25. I highly disagree. There is not going to be 25 playable characters in the final product. No fucking way. No. No, 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 no. 17 years of PlayStation history, and they're going to have only 25 playable characters? No. They might reveal 25 playable characters, but what about the DLC characters? What about the unlockable characters? And what if they don't have 25 to 30 playable characters revealed? They gotta have more than that in the final game. You're looking at the picture I've had since the very beginning of this rant, you will understand. They did not make that roster that way just because of Gamescom. Okay? They know they have to reveal a lot of characters. In this month alone, we haven't even reached PAX. It's like, what, 6 or 5 days away from now? I expect like 4 characters. The characters I said hopefully, but I expect 4 characters. That'll put it at 20. If you fill in the spaces on this picture, it comes out to be 40. Somebody already did it. The picture's kind of out of focus, so I didn't really want to use that one. But, you get the point. And they can make this space as big as they want. You gotta remember, they're probably going to be messing around with a 25 gigabyte Blu-ray disc or a 50 gigabyte Blu-ray disc. This is Sony's WrestleMania. This is Sony's Super Bowl. This is the championship to Sony. This is their game. Why in the fucking world with Sony, of all people, that is, maxing out their own system. Their first party studios is maxing out their own system, not third party studios. Why would they limit themselves like they're a third party studio by putting only 25 characters in a fighting game? No, man. No. 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 It's not gonna happen. I want you guys to understand that. Now, as far as a character I really need to be in there, in a level, and then we're gonna get back to the ramp. I need a Chimera from the Resistance series, not Nathan Hale. You gotta remember, this game is not only for people like me, real hardcore PlayStation fans. It's also gonna be, catered towards new people. When you play this game, you could probably want to go find out the history of these significant characters, and they probably have games on the market or available. So, it's gonna be a good little marketing thing. Also, this game is gonna, you know, actually expand the PlayStation community. It's a good thing. So, you definitely you need some of those characters that are not gonna scare little kids. Okay, you got Spike. He's like a cool character. Toro. She's not that scary or realistic. Fat Princess, Parappa. You know, you get into the also cooler characters like Spike, a little bit more detailed, like Ratchet and Clank, very detailed, and even more detailed than him, um, Jack and Daxter. After that, oh yes, you do have Sly Cooper. After that, you start to get to maybe a little bit more scary characters. I put Sweet Tooth, Kratos. The final build of Kratos in the game is much more scarier than the one that they're showing on their official website or that's going to be on the box art. Okay, so you need to know that it has to be also geared towards people that don't know about the PlayStation history, and many people that know about Resistance and maybe not played it that much, they recognize a Chimera than a regular person, a regular soldier. You don't want somebody to say, "Oh, that regular soldier is from Call of Duty. Why is he using futuristic weapons?" You know, no. So you need a Chimera. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. I'm also looking for a level. Excuse me, because if they haven't revealed the whole roster of characters, they haven't revealed every level, and they're not only gonna have 14 fucking levels. Once again, preposterous, including DLC and unlockable levels, or levels that you're gonna see in the fucking story or whatever. They need a racing level. Okay, we already know about the supposed Twisted Metal slash Sweet Tooth level. I'm looking for a level like from Motorstorm or even though it's the studio's been closed, Studio Liverpool, the creators of the Wipeout series, definitely a Wipeout level will be epic. A Wipeout level will be epic. Or maybe have both of them merged together. I don't know. But definitely need a nice racing level where you got interference with cars or vehicles. That would be fucking crazy. Once again, it's a PS3 exclusive. There shouldn't be that many fucking limits. Now, I do know this game is sharing the spotlight with the PS Vita, and a lot of people are saying, since it's sharing the spotlight with the PS Vita, yes, it's more of a reason for it to actually need a solid number as 25 playable characters. And I'm sorry, that's just not enough. That's just not enough. I know you've been seeing another picture now. It's a very good picture of the current characters, and still you can see that group looks so small. Is there a reason why after the brand new character reveal that they changed the way these characters look? You see in the background, once again, the more mature characters. Up front, you see more the family friendly, kiddie casual characters. Which brings me to my next part of this rant. When you have, well, you might not know they're Nintendo fans, but you will find out if a Nintendo fan is supporting this game. When you have a supposed PlayStation fan that likes Rapper Parappa, and this is in a group, Rapper Parappa, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, Jack and the Daxter, Spike, Sackboy, and Toro. when they're all like, giddy about these characters, all these characters combined, and they really start to ignore people like Drake, Cole, Kratos, Big Daddy, Hahachi, Radic, or Sweet Tooth, you start to know that that's like a Nintendo fan. And you should just totally ignore their opinions, their feedback, just ignore it. Okay? Not only these characters, but other characters from PlayStation's past that seem a little bit kiddie. I don't want to play a game with nothing but kiddie PlayStation characters. It's okay to have them. One of my favorite characters that I'm going to use because of his moveset and his gadgets is Spike. Not because he's kiddie, but because that's my style of a character. He's very resourceful. He has a type of weapon or move for every occasion. I'm going to play with Ratchet and Clank. I like the Ratchet and Clank series, and I like that particular version of Ratchet and Clank. They made me happy by picking the Tools of Destruction version, not the All for One version. That made me happy as a PlayStation fan. Okay? What they did with Kratos, giving him weapons and gadgets from all of the different God of War games, that shit made me happy also. That's amazing. I'm glad that they put Cole McGrath from Infamous 2 in there. I'm glad that he has a mixture of his ice attack and his electric attacks. You know, they don't have Nintendo fanboys calling this guy a human Pikachu. You know, please don't use that joke. I know somebody's gonna come up with it. Um, but yeah, you get my point. You get my point. The game is gonna be good if Superbot and Sony listens to the feedback of their real fans. We're not talking about Nintendo fans that so happen to have a PS3. No, because these same Nintendo fans that are happy that Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, Sackboy, and Spike made it into the game or were revealed, what, 1, 2 months ago, they were trashing the shit out of this game, calling it a ripoff. Now you don't hear that many people saying a ripoff now. You know, it's coming out to be a very good game. I know there's a lot of characters in this game that you wouldn't expect to see together, but that's the whole point of this game. They have a lot of my favorite characters and a lot of my friends' favorite characters. We all know they need to add Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. I've said this in videos past. It's not up to Sony. It's not up to Superbot. It's up to the third-party developers. If the third-party developers don't grant Sony and Superbot the permission to use these older characters like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon, then they can't. You know, Activision's getting a lot of money from Nintendo and their casual toy of a fucking console, Nintendo Wii, the original one with the Wiimote, from Spyro and Skylanders or some shit like that. That they might, if Sony asks to use Spyro, they might say, "Oh, I want to continue to promote the fuck out of this casual piece of shit game," and you can only use the Skylanders version of Spyro. You know, that's what they're up to. That's all they can use then. You see what happened with Dante? We all know which version of Dante we wanted to make it into the game. Now, his gameplay style is like the Dante we all know and love. His look, however, he looks like an emo douchebag.